Hello everyone, myself Ketan Bhavsar, Assistant Professor in Engineering College, Ahmedabad. In today's session, we discuss about dynamic logic circuit. Now, before this chapter, we have to know the combinational circuit and sequential circuit, because in terms of the dynamic circuit, we're talking about different types of combination. It can be generated with help of the PMOS and NMOS. In the previous session, we already discussed about the different types of flip-flop and its practical use and its application. Now, we go ahead and we discuss about a dynamic logic circuit. Now, what is dynamic logic circuit? The first of all, the question arises in our mind. Dynamic logic is a temporary circuit, or we can say that a temporary logic. The output level remain valid only on a certain period of time. Means we can say that it is a temporary solution, as we can say that it is one type of temporary variations in the circuit, or temporary variation in logic families, or any type of the circuits, as we're talking about the combination of PMOS and NMOS, or we can say that it is designed with help of the CMOS family. Static logic remains its output level as long as power is applied. So as you know, if we apply a certain amount of voltage, so it remains same as we applied a certain type of voltage. So we can say that the certain voltage that we are applying. Dynamic logic is normally done with the charging circuit and selectively discharge the capacitance coil. Means when we're talking about a dynamic logic circuit, that we're talking about the effect of the capacitance. It can be a charge and discharge simply. As you know, the discharging the clock during the charge the capacitance is called as a discharge, and evaluate the clock to discharge the capacitance depending on the condition of the logic inputs. Similarly, if you want to increase the value of capacitance, if you want to decrease the value of capacitance, it totally depends on the logic circuit that you are using or you are applied. Now, there are the few advantages in dynamic logic circuit as compared to sequential and combination, as you can see. Avoid a duplicating logic devices as both N tree and P tree as in standard CMOS. So we can design a certain type of logic gates with help of NMOS and PMOS logic gates. Typically can be used in very high performance applications. Very simple sequential memory circuits emulated to synchronous logic. High density achieved as compared to the other type of logic circuits. Consume less power consumption as compared to the sequential family, because in terms of the sequential family, we have to apply the certain types of clock pulses during a cycling time, or we can say that during a specific amount of time that the circuit is going on in terms of either rising edge or falling edge. Now, as you know, every circuit have two types, like some of the good point and some of the bad points. So now we're talking about the disadvantages. So problems with the clock synchronization and timing. Design is more difficult as compared to the existing one. Now we go ahead with the first topic in dynamic logic circuit. It's called as a pass transistor. Now what is pass transistor? As you can see, you can identify with the certain example. As you can see, we are taking one transistor. It's an MP transistor is that we provide the rising edge of the clock, connect the capacitance Cx, and then we connect with the gate of the next transistor, and V is the input supply that we are applying. The pass transistor MP is an NMOS device, but could also be implemented with help of the transmission gate. Cx is represent the equivalent capacitance of the input gate of the second NMOS devices, as well as the PN junction capacitance of MP is drained to the source terminal. So as you can see, it's a connection of the pass transistor. When the clock goes high, the MP is turned on. MP is turned on and allow the input voltage V to be placed on capacitor Cx. V could be a logic 1 and it can be a logic 0, because in terms of the digital circuit, either we are applying the rising edge of the pulse or falling edge of the pulse. When the clock goes low, the MP is turned off and trapping the charge on Cx. Now the operation start from 1 to 0 or 0 to 1, that which type of the clock pulse that we are exactly applying to the input terminal. So as you can see, we are applying the input V means we are applying the value high, clock pulse with the connection of the transistors and capacitance Cx. If the Vin is high, means we can say that it's a VOH that we already see in chapter number 4, means VOH is equal to output high. The MP will allow the current flow from Cx and charge the capacitor Cx up to the valid VD, or we can say that up to the V. Like whatever the input we are applying, if we are applied to 3.3, then it will be charged up to 3.3, or we can say that it is equivalent to 3.3. If you are applying the 5 volt, then it can be charged nearby 5 volt. If Vin is low, means Vin is low in terms of the digital, we are considering it's a 0, it is ground. The MP will allow current to flow out of Cx and discharging it to ground. Due to the leakage from the drain of MP, Cx can only remain in the charge Q for the given period of time. If the MP is NMOS, the Cx will charge to ground, and if MP is PMOS, then Cx will discharge to VDD, because ultimately we are talking about a 0 and 1, because PMOS is charged or it will work on active low and NMOS will work on active high. If MP is in transmission gate, the Cx could discharge in either direction. So as you can see in terms of the direction when we are talking about as a transmission gate based concept, and we apply the V is equal to 0 for the LP transistor and the rising rate of clock pulse. Dynamic bootstrapping. Now we are talking about the next topic, and it is very useful topic for the exam point of view also, what exactly the dynamic bootstrapping technique is. When we are talking about the dynamic bootstrapping technique, ultimately we are discussing about the threshold voltage limitation and how we can remove the threshold voltage limitation and we achieve the maximum, or how we achieve the maximum value in terms of the input side if we are not changing, or we can say that it will not occupy, or we can say that it will not consume by the transistors. Now, bootstrapping is a technique that is sometimes used to charge the transistor gate to the voltage higher than the VDD, where the transistor has to drive the line to the full VDD. Means if you want to achieve the full VDD, then it is possible only when you apply a certain amount of voltage to the circuit. At left of is a NMOS bootstrapping driver, often used in memory circuit to drive the high capacitor word lines. So whenever you want to drive a high value circuit, means in terms of if you want to drive some vibrator circuit, if you want to drive some other circuit which consume the high power consumption, then it can be possible with help of the bootstrapping based circuit. As you can see, we are connected M2 and M1, as you can see the transistor, but we are connected one more extra transistor, it's called as an M3, which work as a switching circuit with the connected with the bootstrapping capacitance C boot. And here also one capacitor is connected, is called as a C out. So M3 is play a main role to provide the switching, and it provide a high voltage as compared to the normal switching configuration. Because of that reason, it's called as a dynamic bootstrapping technique. Now we start with the operation. When the V is equal to high, then M1 is on hold and V out low, while M3 is charged to Vx to the VDD to VT. Thus the C boot is charged to the VDD, VT and VOL. When the V goes low, turning M1 is off, M2 is start charging V out high. If the C boot greater than Cs, most of the increasing in C out is boosted to Vx and rising the voltage at Vx to well above the VDD. So when we are talking about the operation of the bootstrapping based concept, ultimately we are talking about an M1, M2 and M3. And when we are talking about the M3 will be charged at the terminal at particular at Vx, and it is connected with the C boot capacitor 2. So when the V goes low, the transistor M1 is turned off and M2 is start charging and V out goes to high. If C boot is greater than Cs, the most of the increasing in V out is booted to Vx and rising the voltage at Vx to high as above as VDD. So as you can see, it's simple connections of the transistor. It is connected to the M1. As you can see, we are connected to the capacitance C boot, and it is upcoming, or we can say that next generation circuit that it gives you a maximum input voltages to the switching side, or we can say that the right hand side of the circuit if the transistor will consume some amount of threshold voltage. So this circuit is helpful for overcoming, or we can say that this circuit is useful for overcoming a threshold voltage limitations and it play a main role. It is desired to obtain the Vx is greater than VDD plus Vt in order to keep M2 is linear to allow Vout be charged fully to VDD. So this circuit is play a main role to charge your circuit VDD fully. The parasitic capacitance C is with sum of the charge of C boot in limiting the maximum voltage on Vx. So charging the coupled circuit or coupling equations. As a left, C boot is implemented with a transistor having the source is drained to drain terminal. So basically when we are talking about the capacitors, then ultimately we are talking about a specific capacitors and its connection establishment. See, the main objective of this circuit is that to overcome the threshold voltage limitations in the transistor side, right? So here what exactly we did, we add one more extra transistor to play a main role in circuit. And this transistor is used as a switching device to provide the full VDD to the output side, right? So it play a main role in practical applications too. Really, when we talking about the different types of logic family and we discuss about the different types of dynamic logic circuit, each and every dynamic circuit is play a main role to improving the quality of circuit, to improving performance of the circuit, to improve the size complexity. It take a minimum amount of size so we can add more transistor, and as for the more as well, if you increasing more and more transistor, then ultimately you are getting the better output as compared to the existing system. Because if you are increasing more transistor, then your performance of the chip will be increased. Fine. So I hope that you are getting the idea about the different types of switching configurations, right? And different types of dynamic logic circuits. If you have still any doubt, then you can tell me or you can contact me on my email ID. So thank you for watching.